This is AM 1220, KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City.
Following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed or products endorsed are not necessarily those of KTLV, its staff, or management.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A happy good morning to you wherever you are. It's homecoming time. It's homecoming time at the Spencer Church of Christ, 8512 Northeast 36th Street in Spencer, Oklahoma. There was a breakfast known as a continental breakfast at 8 o'clock this morning. There was a preaching service. And on Saturday at 12:30, there's a homecoming meal. At 6 o'clock tonight, there will be a musical concert. But on September the 8th, there will be the first worship service at 8 a.m., the Bible school at 9, and the second worship service at 10 a.m. There will be the ordination of elders and deacons at 2 o'clock p.m. You're cordially invited, according to Brother Muse, Mrs. Gloria Matthews. This will be a historical event in the life of the Spencer congregation. Dr. G.P. Holt of Dallas, Texas will be there. There will be a concert by Cliffview Course of Dallas, Texas. This program today is brought to you by Gates Barbershop, and Mr. Gates is back, so you don't have to worry. All you have to do is to go on to 2609 and get your hair cut today. Both Mr. Gates and Mr. Gamble are there waiting for you. That is at 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is the day that you waited for, and you waited for the Clara Luper radio show because you know by now that the Grayson and Hoffman people will be getting together this evening at 4 o'clock in the beautiful home of Mr. and Mrs. Jean Ford. Now, this will be unusual because this is the first time in a few years that the people from Grayson and Hoffman have gotten together for an old-fashioned Hoffman picnic. Maddie Baker will be there, Onita Brown, Gladys Elliott, Howard, T.C. Howard, and Helen, Excel Nixon, and his lovely wife, Johnny, will all be there. Gladys Elliott, Reverend Rito, the whole Hoffman family and Grayson family will be there. No longer will they be discussing what city is the most beautiful, Hoffman or Grayson, but they will be there in one as a family. Jean Ford, in Jean Ford's home, and those of you that are from Grayson and Hoffman, you can give me a call today because you are certainly invited. It takes a village to raise a child, and certainly that has been proven by the people in Grayson and Hoffman. There will be descendants there from the Watkins family, the Ford family, the Griffin family. It will be something to remember. Johnny May is all ready, and don't forget today is the day that the picnic will start at exactly 4 p.m. And you will be sticking around because one of the highlights tonight will be the Hoffman and Grayson people will be looking at that fight from the Mike Tyson's fight. Today's program is going to be a special program, and I always ask you for something. I ask you to listen very carefully today because as the NACP Youth Council is looking over what is to be done this year, and many of you know that for the past years we have tried to get the cities to celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday. And I would like to read directly now from the Daily Oklahoman because we need your support now in seeing to it that the cities that have ignored a national holiday will celebrate Martin Luther King's birthday this year. Bethany has not ever celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday, and this is quite unusual because this is a town that has a lot of religious implications. Bethany, Oklahoma will not and has not celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday. Choctaw, Oklahoma has not celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday. And I have been doing some research on Choctaw, and if you have some additional information, let me know. I've been told that Choctaw will not celebrate and has not celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday. But they also tell me that there are no blacks that are working in Choctaw, in the banks, in the stores, or what have you. Choctaw, Oklahoma. And I would like for some of you from Choctaw, Oklahoma, to call me today, 672-1220, and let's see how you feel. If all of the people feel like the leadership in Choctaw, Oklahoma, black people and freedom-loving people are in serious trouble. I understand there's a gentleman from Choctaw, Oklahoma that's running for sheriff and running from a city that will not recognize Martin Luther King's birthday. Now, if you are in a city that does not recognize Martin Luther King's birthday, then you are also identified with those people that failed to recognize a national holiday proposed by the national government. Now, that's those of you in Choctaw, you may call me if you have some additional information, 672-1220. A few years ago, Mr. Theodis Payne was assigned to Choctaw, and he was to check to see to what he could do with his influence to make Choctaw recognize Martin Luther King's birthday. Harold, Oklahoma, refuses to recognize Martin Luther King's birthday. They did not, and they have not. We don't know what's going to happen. Midwest City refused. That is open, and they have some things are closed, but the city hall and everything is open. And those of you in Midwest City should be able to do something about it. Of all the places in the world, poor little Mustang, Newcastle, Blanchard, and Chandler refused to recognize Martin Luther King's birthday. Now, these people are talking about breaking laws, and we should obey the law. Well, the Martin Luther King celebration is a national holiday passed by Congress, signed by the President of the United States, and here we are saying that I'm going to ignore it. Nichols Hills will not recognize Martin Luther King's birthday, and all of you that live in Nichols Hills, you can see the councilman out there and some of the leadership and see what happened. And this comes as a shock to you. War Acres does not recognize Martin Luther King's birthday, and Yukon does not recognize Martin Luther King. And of all the places in the world, little old Nakoma Park does not recognize Martin Luther King's birthday, nor Tecumseh, nor Valley Brook. Now, I want you, the names that I did not call are people in this area, are cities in this area that recognize Martin Luther King's birthday. And I would like to salute these cities. Let me call them for you. Dale City recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Thank you, Dale City. Edmond recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Guthrie recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Kingfisher recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Moore, Oklahoma recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Crescent, Oklahoma, Martin Luther King's birthday is recognized. Forest Park, Martin Luther King's birthday is recognized. Jones, Oklahoma recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Luther, Oklahoma recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Noble, Oklahoma recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Norman, Oklahoma recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. And my city, Oklahoma City, recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Piedmont recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Purcell recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Shawnee recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Spencer, Oklahoma recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. The Village recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Tuttle, Oklahoma recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. McLeod recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. Okarche recognizes Martin Luther King's birthday. But look at these cities that do not. Now, I want you to listen very carefully because this has political implications. It has religious implications. It has social implications. It has patriotic implications. Choctaw, Oklahoma. And I would like for somebody to call me from Choctaw. I would like for the gentleman that's running for sheriff to call me and tell me how he can stand up in front of black people and face them and from a city that does not recognize Martin Luther King's birthday, nor how he can stand up upon or in front of freedom-loving white people and tell them what all you do is sheriff and doesn't have enough influence to get them to close City Hall on Martin Luther King's birthday. My telephone number is 672-1220. Today I would like to remind you that We are going to hear from Mr. Russell Perry today, who will be my very distinguished guest. And I want you to know that Russell Perry is doing something. He has hit at what we've got to do, and that's the economic structure of our city. He has gone down on 23rd Street and he's beautified that street. Have you seen the lights on 23rd and Prospects? They sure were not there before Russell Perry did something about it. Have you seen the beautiful building? He has one there on 23rd and Prospects and then one across from the bank. Not only that, he has just purchased two more radio stations in Lawton, Oklahoma. He has one in Tulsa and one in Oklahoma City. And he's going to talk to me today because I do want to salute him. Last night at the First African Methodist Episcopal Church presented a recognition dinner, and this was sponsored by the 1996 Women's Day Committee at Rose State College. Now, this was quite unusual, and they did some unusual things. For example, there was dinner music by that talented Mrs. Cordelia Bennett. The occasion was given by Miss Gloria Hall. But then there was the scholarship committee. Now that church is given to its young graduate scholarships. But last night, Reverend Harold C. Davis, gave cash scholarships to Keisha Coleman, Kathy Marsh, Derek Miller, and Dante Patterson. And he was so pleased to do it. And there were a number of other people that were honored last night by the women of First AME Church, and I shall only tell you about a few of them. And I got to tell you about Betty White, Alberta Taylor, Joe Carter, Ben Hall Jr., Sylvester McCullen, Mr. Thomas Jenkins, Homer Milton, Mr. Molden, Ruth Tryon, and they say Ruth has not missed a Sunday school class in over 30 years. Alice Duke, Mrs. Lee Albritton, Melvin Hardiman, Betty Coleman, and Charles Penn was recognized as a layman of the church, although he was on active duty in the Mid-East. Now, the church recognized Gloria Hall in a very beautiful manner last night. There were some willing workers, and Reverend Davis defined these willing workers as people that want to get out and do everything they can for the church without any pay, without any consideration. And some of them were Lady Ruth Hunter, Alice Duke, Mr. McCullen, Thomas Jenkins, Joe Carter, Melvin Jenkins, Mr. and Mrs. John Miller, and that's Vivian Miller, who's an educator in the school system, Sada Jenkins, and Rosalind Thomas. The highlight of the occasion was an address that was given by Mr. Huey Hawkins, a young man that spoke, and everybody was on the edges of their seats. Huey Hawkins did a beautiful job, and I would like to personally congratulate Huey Hawkins and the fine people from the First AME Church, and I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to share those moments with you. A special thanks to Dr. McGlon, Miss Janet Newton, Miss Gloria Hall, and to the pastor, Reverend Harold C. Davis. Now, their Women's Day activities will continue tomorrow. Mrs. Davis will be the guest speaker, and you are certainly invited. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and this show is being made possible by Hometown, 2001 Northeast 23rd Street. Danny would like to express his appreciation to all of you for the support that you have given him during the time that Hometown has been open. Hometown was open so that the people on the east side would have a place they could go for 24 hours. Today I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about your children. I've never received such a fine response as I did last week, and we are going to continue. But Dr. A.L. Dow would like to say congratulations, and he too is very proud of the children in Oklahoma City. That's why he wants you to bring your child down to his office at 934 Northeast 8th Street for that annual eye examination. That's Dr. A.L. Dow, 934 Northeast 8th Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Dr. Dow would like to examine very carefully your children's eyes because it's time to go to school and we don't want our children trying to keep up without being able to see. That's Dr. A.L. Dow, 934 Northeast 8th Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Passion Home and Health Care is located at 3838 Northwest 36th Street. Now, here's a concept that's been created in order that you could receive the best. By now, you must be aware of the nursing services. You've heard people talk about it, and it's touched your lives in many, many different ways. The home health care. Don't have to leave home. Nurses will come in and take care of business for you. They also have Give Me a Free Hand. Now that's 3838 Northwest 36th Street. The telephone number is 943-5779. It's really satisfying to see businesses grow, and certainly we would like to salute Exotic Flowers. It's now located at 3671 North Everett Street. The telephone number is 424-7659. You see that beautiful red van which say it with flowers. Exotic Flowers, flowers for all occasions. You're talking about weddings, funerals, anniversaries, whatever you're talking about. Be sure and call 424-7659, and Sylvia will have those flowers ready for you when you get there. I like to talk about Johnson Shardina's Daycare Center. I like to do this because I am so impressed with the kind of education that the young people are getting that attend that daycare center. I'm impressed with the staff, a certified staff, a staff that's anxious and willing and waiting to help, a staff that's qualified. Games, all kinds of games, breakfast, lunch, and a snack. Open every day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They also have some openings for some babies, and you know your babies will be taken care of. Why don't you pick up the telephone and call 424-4656 or call 427-5274. Ask for Mrs. Gloria Matthews or Mr. Paul Matthews. Miss Smallwood is there too, and does she do a beautiful job? Yes, Johnson Shardina's located in the heart of Oklahoma City. 1643 Northeast of 50th Street here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's fair time in Oklahoma, and fair time means get ready for that good old CP's catfish that will be at the State's Fair. CP's Catfish, the only catfish stand at the State Fair, located in front of the Transportation Building, waiting for you. Maryland's gumbo will be there, and we will hear from Maryland. She'll be telling us about that gumbo. But I want to tell you about CP's Catfish. And Calvin Luper is all smiles because he's gotten to the place CP has trained him to fry that catfish. Calvin, are you ready for the State Fair? Are you ready?
Of course I'm ready, Mom. You know, this time of the year is a very important time of the year, not only for CP's Catfish, but for all of the State Fair participants, for the bands and the senior citizens, for the exhibitors, for the Walt Disney on Ice people, for the stock car racing. This is a great time of the year, and this is one of the most beautiful times of the year. We know it's going to rain. We don't know when. We know it's going to be beautiful, though, 14 or 15 of those days at the Oklahoma State Fair, and I am looking forward to it. We're working hard getting ready there at CP's Catfish and Maryland's Gumbo, and we know that we will have the best food at the Oklahoma State Fair this year once again.
Well, I'm so excited. I'm excited about CP's Catfish, the best catfish in the world. Now, when you get out there, don't get upset with me because the prices have gone up. To get in the fair now, you have to pay $5. Don't blame me now. Don't blame me. If you have any complaints, Mr. Pierce told all of us if we didn't like it, go to Texas to the state fair because in Texas you have to pay $8.50 to go in. But one thing about it, when you go to the state fair, you will have the opportunity to eat some CP's catfish and Maryland's gumbo.
Mom, let's get the directions straight on that. You know, that's the north side of the Travel and Transportation Building, and it's west of the B-52 bomber display, and it's east of the
Arena.
of the arena. It's east of the arena, the north side of the Travel Transportation Building, west of the B-52 bomber display, and south of the gigantic slide that they have there on, I believe that's Stagecoach Road. But you know, the state fair is that time of the year, and there are exhibitors and there are people that are getting ready all across this state that will be there and from different states, and it's just an opportunity of a lifetime to come there and take your time and go through the state fair, not only to ride the rides, but to go through the different buildings and see the exhibits and see the products, the different products, the Made in Oklahoma building, and it's a surprise to you to see the type products that we in Oklahoma produce, and I think it's the kind of thing that gives you an extra amount of pride in this great state of ours.
From the lakes of Oklahoma come CP's catfish. CP's catfish, the best catfish in the world.
Now, you're absolutely right on that. I know you never tasted any catfish that good because I know in Hoffman and Grayson, you all didn't know how to cook that catfish like we do at CP's Catfish. Am I correct?
You are incorrect.
I'm
Because
incorrect.
you'll see this evening at the picnic. When you get to that picnic this evening, you'll eat so much until you'll gain 5 pounds this evening.
Oh, well, I can't stand that because, you know, the trailers are limited size there. We got on a diet in that area. We want to make sure everybody gets enough to eat, but then we can't have no fat people.
Are
real
you prepared
extra
for
weight
better
people.
service this year at the fair?
Of course we are, Mom. Each year we improve, but we're going to have enough waiters and waitresses. We're going to have enough cooks, and we hope the lines will be long because we're going to be doing our best to keep up with everyone, with all the orders. And I anticipate people coming up with not just one request for dinner or one request for sandwiches, but for the entire family, you know, like CPs, let me have 4 dinners. Let me have
Well, those dinners are
17
$7
sandwiches.
this year, and those sandwiches
That
are
won't matter, Mom.
$5.
We in Oklahoma are prepared to pay the price for good stuff, and the good stuff will be at CP's Catfish. You know, this is our 6th year at the
Really,
state fair.
has it been 6
It's
years?
6 long years, and it goes back to that first year when we knew what we had, and we knew we had a good product. But we had a difficult time that year because of the rain, and
That's
it didn't
right.
rain that year. It rained, what, 16 of 17 days?
No, it was 14 or 17.
14 or 17 days.
But we had a better appreciation for Noah and the people in the ark in 1991. But this is going to be our year because our friends will be there. Are you with me, Oklahoma? Are you with me, Texas? And I can hardly wait for that group from Wyoming to come up there and say, we're back this year in Wyoming. We want some CP's catfish and Maryland's gumbo.
And you know, the rodeo crowd that comes out for the state fair, we have quite a following there. I love seeing those cowboys come off after they finish their ride and come back in that little plaza-like atmosphere that we have behind CP's, and they sit back and they relax. And last year I had an opportunity to take some pictures with some of the big-time winners there, and it really feels good, you know, when the people that are at the fairground on a regular basis, when they come over to your booth, and lets you know that that
That's
we
right,
have
and the
good
workers
food,
out
and
there.
the workers that come there, and you know the guys with the rides, the supervisors, and many of the guys that work on the rides, they make it a point when they have their lunch break to come over there and enjoy not only the good food but the good conversation and the relaxed atmosphere that right in the middle of all this turmoil, all these things going on at the Oklahoma State Fair, there at CP's Catfish Cafe, you can sit back, you can relax, you can enjoy it. Good music, good company, and the best food at the Oklahoma State Fair. And that's not only a promise because we deliver.
All right. How are you going to say it this year? How are you going to invite people to come into
Well,
your
no
booth?
telling. My first thing I'm going to say, Mom, is make sure that you come by CP's Catfish. They're on the north side of the Travel Transportation Building, west of the B-52 bomber, east of the arena, south of the big slide. But make sure you come by CP's Catfish, Maryland's Gumbo, and you'll recognize us because we have 2 very identifiable trailers. And we're working on the display on that, and it'll be a lot of extra things we'll add. And we will be one of the few booths, food booths at outdoors where you can sit down, you can relax. And like I said, we'll have a good music. We'll have some nice, comfortable seats. We're going to have shade, of course. And if it rains, we got some umbrellas for you during the rain. But CP's Catfish, Merlin's Gumbo, that is the place to come at the Oklahoma State Fair.
I asked CP to give me a secret in a catfish, and CP would not do it.
Well, Mr. Wilson, CP has been holding that secret pretty tight. He shares a little of it with those of us who do the actual cooking. But then sometimes when he's getting things together, everybody has to clear out of the whole place because CP's busy getting it together, and he makes sure that we have the right stuff there to put on the fish and to make the fish be the way CP says it should be. And Mom, it's great because it's good to see people that enjoy good eating. Not only was the catfish good, but the potatoes, I don't know what happens on the potatoes, but I think it's just that special touch.
It's French fries.
Yeah, I think it's just that special touch that and the care that goes into the preparation of the food at CP's Catfish. This year before the fair, I got to make sure I get by Mr. Gates' barbershop so that I won't have this shaggy look because, the TV cameras will be there and the different stations from across this nation will be coming through because the reporters come by not only to report on the story,
but to eat that catfish.
Enjoy that good catfish and that nice, hot, spicy gumbo. And I tell you, CP's Catfish is the place to be. And another thing, too, Mom, a lot of the people, and we invite them all to come by, but there are handicapped people that will drive their carts by or they'll have their family come by. And we have special provisions for them, and we make sure that they have a good time and that they enjoy the good food. But all in all, CP's Catfish, now that's the place to be. You can sit there in front of our booth and really get a good taste of what's happening at the fair because people of all sizes, shapes, and descriptions will be passing by CP's Catfish and Merlin's Gumbo. And we invite you to come by. I think the bungee jump will be again this year, and there will be other special exhibits, and there are some new rides that will be there. So
Tell me, there might be a wedding at CP's Catfish. Someone has called me to know if they could get married there this year. I don't know. I'll have to meet with CP because that might slow down the sales of catfish.
Well, whatever.
It might slow down the sales of catfish, and we've got to sell that catfish and stay in business.
I'm sure that we will be able to find a minister in short notice to come out there and perform a wedding.
We don't want to do like Rodman did.
No, Dennis Rodman. No, we don't want to have any of that.
No.
But I know the next Saturday this time we will be actively involved in it. I'll be calling in and letting the people know, but I'll be telling them the same thing. It's the north side of the Travel Transportation Building, west of the B-52 Bomber, east of the arena, and south from the gigantic slide that the State Fair has made a permanent display this year. And Mom, there are a lot of other things that will be going on too. The games will be coming in there. The games the games of chance that they have. The rides, I'm looking forward to all of that. And I think this year I'm going to make a special point to get Dean and you and Mr. Wilson, if we get a break, to go on the Ferris wheel. I haven't been on the Ferris wheel in years, but I believe this will be the year.
You just help yourself to the rides. In the meantime, this is the Clara Luper radio show, and this is the show that salutes people. And today I'm saluting Russell Perry because I think he has done a beautiful job in saying to America as we approach the 21st century that we've got to go further than talk. Talk is one thing, but action is another one, and I expect Russell Perry to call me while I'm on the air.
He's definitely a man of action now. You can look at the results. Not only is he talking that talk, but he's walking that walk, and I too am extremely proud.
We got to walk economically, Calvin.
It's amazing, Mom. I look forward to that interview that will be coming up shortly.
Because if the doors are open and our people are too drunk, too high on drugs, too dumb to pass a test, we will not make it. And I would like to salute those, and certainly I would like to salute Russell Perry. And one thing about it, Russell Perry is on the move, and he can't move unless he takes a lot of people with him, and he does have a lot of employees, and we will be talking about that. Well, if you don't like what Russell Perry is doing, you do something, and I'll talk about you. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and today's show is your show. Mr. Perry?
Good morning, Ms. Luper.
Good morning. I'm so proud of you.
Well, in fact, the top of the morning to you and Calvin.
Well, thank you so very kind. I am so proud of what you have done for this city.
Well, thank you so much, and I couldn't, whatever you say that I've done, I couldn't do it without this city.
Well, thank you so very kindly. Are you a graduate of the schools of this city?
Yes, I am. I'm a product of Oklahoma City Public Schools,
What high school?
Douglas High School.
Douglas High School. Oh, great, great. Well, I'm a product of Grayson High School in Grayson, Oklahoma. Graduated in the top 5 of my class.
Well, I can't say that, Mrs. Luper. I'm just thankful that I was able to get out.
Well, I got out in the top 5, but there were only 5 in my class. Russell, you have changed the tide of civil rights, and I'm talking about SILVER rights. Tell me about your business experience.
Well, let me say first, and it needs to be said, that people like yourself and other civil rights leaders, and I sincerely mean that, without your leadership, we wouldn't be, or I wouldn't be able to even say some of the things that you've asked me to say today. So I want to say humbly that we thank you, and you for your efforts, not only in civil rights, but in all rights for the city and this state. I want to say that to you.
Well, thank you.
To answer you about business, I think, Mrs. Luper, that I have been one of the most blessed men in the city because God has enabled me to if I may flex my muscles and try ventures. I've failed in some, and some we have been able to sustain ourselves. And so for that reason, I think that in your salute to Russell Perry today, I say thank you. And one can't do it alone. You have to have a good, solid family background. You have to have a good, solid local family. My wife is very, very, she's very, most people don't know my wife. She's background. She's a Tulsa girl.
And now, Russell, you went to Douglas High School.
I know,
and then you went over to Tulsa and got your wife.
I couldn't find a Douglas High School.
Oh, isn't that something?
But I have 3 children, and they've been all in support. So it's just been an overall community, family effort, and everybody has supported me.
All right, now I know you own a newspaper, and I know you own a radio station in Oklahoma City and one in Tulsa, and I've been informed that you own 2 in Lawton.
Yes, ma'am. We were very, very fortunate. We bought our first station, KVSP, in Oklahoma City, about going on our 4th year now. We were able to, a year after that, we built a station in Tulsa. We bought a construction permit for a station in Tulsa.
Wait a minute, Russell. You are telling me you built a radio station in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Yes, we did. We did not have, we had and I'll make this as brief as possible, there are no more FM frequencies in Oklahoma City. So there were no more FM frequencies in Tulsa, but we located a construction permit in Bixby, Oklahoma. And I went in there, luckily, and bought the construction permit from Bixby. And within a year, we had built a station for Bixby, Tulsa. So we cover the we cover the whole eastern part of the state there in Tulsa with this station. But we built it from a piece of paper up until its present status. Yes, ma'am.
Where is it located?
It's located at 71st and South Yale in Tulsa, on the 3rd floor in the Mutual Federal Insurance Building there.
Do you realize that I have never interviewed a black man that's financially able to buy and build a station?
Well, like I said, God has been good to me, Mrs. Luper, and through our community has supported our products, our newspaper here, our bank here, and we've just been extremely blessed.
All right, now let's go to Lawton. I didn't get the call number of your station in Tulsa.
KIRQ in Lawton. It'll be called Q98 Jams in Lawton, and we have the AM will be it's KRXX, and it'll be the AM. It'll be Lawton Gospel.
Okay.
So we'll have a gospel.
You're taking me pretty fast. Are you telling me that you have purchased both an AM and an FM station in Lawton, Oklahoma?
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Wait a minute, Russell. Let me go back over there. I want to make sure I'm understanding. And you know, I'm from Hoffman, Oklahoma, and you have to make sure that we understand. You're saying that you have an AM station in Lawton. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you have an FM station.
We have a 100,000 C1 FM station in Lawton.
A 100,000
Yes,
C?
ma'am. 100,000. Our station in Tulsa is 50,000.
How about in Oklahoma City?
We're 1,000-watt Oklahoma City daytimer there.
So your FM in Lawton has the same number of watts as your station here?
It has a larger wattage, but it's at two different units. One's an AM and one's an FM. But that's kind of confusing. AM has its frequency is carried different, so it has the similar power, but it's just hard to explain to you.
Well, which is the gospel one?
The gospel will be the AM in Lawton. It's 1050 in Lawton, and we'll do gospel totally all day, every day.
Okay, and then on FM, what will you do?
It'll be urban. It'll be the one like the one here in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Okay, now
We have a large black population in Lawton. We have that does not necessarily include the military-based Fort Sill. There, we have about 25.3% blacks in Lawton, and if you look at the percentage of blacks in Tulsa, which is a little less than 9%, and the percentage of blacks in Oklahoma City is a little over 10%. Lawton has a greater number of black percentage-wise in Lawton than it is in either county.
the Miss Black Oklahoma State Pageant will be held in Lawton, Oklahoma on June the 21st. C.P. Wilson and I were down there this weekend, and we have never seen the kind of reception that the Chamber of Commerce and the people gave us in Lawton. It's unbelievable.
Very strong organization. I think a lot of us in Oklahoma City and Tulsa could take notice from Lawton. Lawton's a very collective, together city.
Well, I am so proud. I am so proud. I'm just bubbling over with pride because you and Mr. Sutton in New York are going on to town.
Well, thanks for comparing me, but I think this, again, I want to thank this community. I want to thank you and Calvin, Mrs. Luper, for supporting us. We haven't supported, to be honest and frank with you, we haven't done the things that we could do, but as of today and yesterday, I think we would like to move forward and do those things that we should have been doing long ago, and doing those things in whatever way we can help you in Lawton. You call us and we'll be there in Lawton for you.
But one thing I like about you, and you know I've disagreed with you many times.
Absolutely.
And I have not been hypocritical about it.
Not
I've
at
come
all.
back to your face and
Not
say,
at all.
Russell, I don't like this. But then as long as you can disagree and then be agreeable, I think that's something that I want to compliment you for that.
Well, I want to compliment you, and I've had a good teacher. I think that you've set the pace for that, and I honestly would say that, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to say that publicly today. I've always respected you. We haven't always agreed on the things, but we've been in a position to agree, not to agree, but to agree and able to get along and work together in this city. And it's an honor for me to be on your program. And let me say this to you. I would like to personally extend to you an invitation next week to be on KVSP on the open mic with our morning crew and just give this city a taste of what it needs to be said and heard from you.
Well, look here, one thing that we do a lot of talk about employment. How many employees do you have?
I think this does not include Lawton. We're still employing in Lawton. We have about 158 altogether.
Just a minute now, Russell. You have how many employees?
158. And in Lawton, I think we will add about between 20 and 26 more there in Lawton. So we're getting up to the 200 mark.
And you're saying that as a businessman graduating from Douglas High School, you now are able to employ
Roughly 200 people.
roughly 200 people.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I would like to just take my hat off to you.
Well,
because
thank you.
That's what we need. That's the only way we are going to survive in the 21st century. And we might as well get up all of our constitutions and do it. And I think everybody in the state of Oklahoma, blacks and whites, should join in saluting you because you have done a great job.
Well, I'm honored, and thank you so much. And I think another good thing, I want to say this to Calvin, and listening to you this morning, I think it's wonderful that Calvin has, over the years, have stood by you, his mom. And it's just rewarding to hear both of you exhibit your arts and talents this morning. And again, let me applaud both of you.
Well, one more thing, and I'm going to let you go because I know you're on your way to Lawton. Someone has just called in and wanted to know, what advice would you give young people today?
I would give, that's a very, very good question. I would give them, because young people today, if you look and read, some of them come from so many diverse areas. But I would say there's always a stronger being, and that's Almighty. Stay focused and listen to those who've experienced the things that you think are somewhat trivial today, or very important. But get yourself focused in on where you would like to do, and the things you would like, and realize this, that it doesn't come overnight, and it doesn't come without some sacrifice. And I think if you stay focused and have those things in front of you, and for those of you who don't have parents or responsible parents, follow and look at those individuals that could be uplifting and a role model to you, and they will lead you right. And for those of you who are fortunate to have parents, listen to them and follow them. They've experienced those things. They love you. They want the best for you, and follow them. And then pray and help. Ask God to help you. And I think all of those factors together will put you on the right path.
Thank you so very kindly.
Mrs. Luper, thank you and Calvin. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye. That was Russell Perry. Now I want to know what you have to say. Because here's a man that's hiring 100 and near 200 people. Russell, I just want to salute you. I am so proud of you because the future belongs to those that prepare for it. The future. And certainly I am proud of the fact that this morning I had the opportunity to interview a young man who has 4 radio stations, who has a newspaper, and who serves on various boards, and who, most of all, give jobs to over near 200 people. Now, Calvin, what do you have to say about that? Now, you know that is a killer.
It's more than a killer, Mom. I took my hat off doing that interview to Russell Perry because I'm really proud of the young man that is a Douglas High School graduate. I've had an opportunity, to have seen Russell and been around Russell for the last few years, and you never know, when a person is going to reach that milestone or those milestones like he's reached. And I'm extremely proud of him because Russell he's a go-getter and he's a hustler and he's a young man. I don't mean hustler, but he has set his goals and he's worked extremely hard to achieve those goals, and that's just inspiring to hear the progress that he's made and the growth that he's made and the dream that he's stuck to all these years. And like he said, you have to stick with what you believe in and pray for help and strength from above. And Russell Perry, congratulations and the best of luck. And keep on keeping on. No telling what happens. From humble beginnings, great towers have been grown.
Well, he reminds me of Percy Sutton in New York City, who has done a terrific job in buying radio stations. And I look forward to Russell Perry going on to the top. I look forward to him buying television stations, and no telling what will happen. But anyway, Russell, don't stop here because we got 2 more to go. I'm asking your parents to call in because last week you said you didn't have time to talk about your children. You better talk about your children. And I want to see the parents say something good about children. It breaks my heart to see so much child abuse in our nation today. We got to love our children, and children can make mistakes, and we all make mistakes. So I want you to call in and tell me about your children, because last week I received so many calls saying, thank you, Mrs. Luper, for giving me that opportunity. And I know Miss Hawkins has something to say about her son who spoke last night.
Right. The phone number you need to call is 672-1220, 672-1220, or if you're on your mobile phone, star 1220. So we look forward to your calls, and we'll be putting you on the air, and we want to hear about what your children are doing and what their dreams are and what their hopes are for the future too.
And don't you let your kids jive you. Put on some $100 tennis and 10-cent books in their heads. Well, this is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and this portion of our show is brought to you by Allstate Insurance Company, Merrill and Hildred at 843-0811, April and Shelley and Calvin. Allstate Insurance Company, they want you to come out to their office located on Britton Road, 830 North Britton Road, and just let them look at your insurance policies. They can help you, and you need help, because when you don't know anything, you go to people that know how to do it. I shall never forget a conversation I had with C.R. Anthony. C.R. Anthony said, Clara, I'm from Arkansas, and I never had the educational advantages of other people. But when I get ready to know something, I go to somebody that knows. And sir, if you want to know something, you better go to somebody that knows, because the blind cannot lead the blind. Calvin, are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? That's what I want to know. Are we?
Community Center and CME Church from Green Pastures. And on Tuesday, our guest will be Reverend Odell and House of Prayer. On Wednesday, our guest will be St. James Baptist Church. Thursday, our guest will be St. Luke Baptist Church. And Friday, our guest will be Holy Temple, First Pentecostal Church, and Hillwood Baptist Church. And on Sunday, our guest will be First Baptist Church from Cushing. And on Monday through Friday, the revival will start at 7:30, and on Sunday, it will start at 3:30.
Wait, you told me to come to the True Love Baptist Church. I don't know where the church is located.
That's what I was going to say right now.
Okay, well, say it.
Okay. The True Love Baptist Church is located on 4921 North Indiana in Spencer, and it is about a block off 50th or a block off of Spencer Road, depending on which direction you come from.
Okay, well, I'll be coming from the west.
The west. Okay.
4921 Indiana Street, and who's your pastor?
Reverend Calvin O'Muse.
Calvin O'Muse, a young man that works with Boy Scouts?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so very kindly, Brandon. Okay? I want you to know that Brandon will be starring as Dred Scott in the Dred Scott Story, a historical play that will be presented in February. Hello? This is Clara Luper, and I'm giving you an opportunity to talk about your children because I have so many children. I just got a picture from Joe Hill out in Saipan, and Joe told me something that I'm going to tell you next week. I think it's really exciting. This is the Clara Luper radio show, and you may call me at 672-1220 and talk about your children.
Mom, you know, this weekend is a very important weekend for the Thunderbird football teams across the city. Thunderbird and the Optimist Club football teams. Really, they're having a round robin of sorts in different parts of the city, not only today, but Sunday also. So there's going to be some exciting Little League football going on in Oklahoma City. I know all of us enjoyed seeing the high school season really get off to a great start last night, and looking forward to how that season progresses. And you know what? We're going to have to start finding a sports reporter again, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, that won't be. We can easily do that.
Well, we want
That's
everyone
not a
out there to
problem.
know if you have a student, or a young man, a young woman who's interested in sports and would like to be a sports announcer for the Clara Luper Radio Show, have them contact us here at 672-1220 or star 1220. You also call those numbers and brag on your children. Tell us what they're doing and let them know that you are proud of them and their accomplishments this year in the school system.
Well, I'm proud of the Capitol Car Wash, located off of 24 on Martin Luther King Avenue. The Capitol Car Wash, where you can go in and get that car washed, you can get it detailed. They'll wash that car so you will even think that you are in a brand new car. All at Capitol Car Wash here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Capitol Car Wash. Calvin, we need to really say that loud. Capitol Car Wash.
We need to say it loud. I need to take my car by there and let them prove it, because my car has missed that good detailing and that good washing that I know that they do at the Capitol Car Wash there at 24th and Martin Luther King Avenue. But I've seen your car, so I know that a good job can be done. And Mr. Wilson's, I know. But then more importantly than that, these are cars that I've seen. And there are other cars and people's names that I don't know that I've seen parked there at the Capitol Car Wash, and they're shining, they're looking good. And I look forward to seeing what they can do with my little Ford and how they can bring that up. But don't just take my word for it, or don't just wait on me to get mine done. You go by the Capitol Car Wash there at 24th North Martin Luther King Avenue.
You can get everything done there at Capitol Car Wash for only $7, and it's certainly enjoyable. Well, this big football game will be today, OU and OSU, and it'll be interesting to see how we're going to come out on those games.
College football time is here, and we're looking forward to both of the coaches, the coach at OU, the coach at OSU. We're looking forward to them having
And don't miss
successful
Langston
games.
University.
And Langston University and Tulsa University. Boy, this is going to be an exciting season. UCO, and it's just going to be great seeing, I'm a little prejudiced toward those schools that have Oklahoma City products that are playing, Oklahoma City students that are playing a prominent role on the football team. So I'll be watching all of those games and trying to be a part of it and be cheering from anybody that has played in any school in Oklahoma City. But we're looking forward to your calls and telling us about what your kids are doing now. You can call us at 672-1220 or star 1220.
Now, you were calling about Miss Black, Oklahoma. The state pageant will be in Lawton, Oklahoma, and it will start on June the 14th through the 21st. The contestants will arrive in Lawton, Oklahoma, and there'll be a big reception and a dinner welcoming party. They will have a homecoming luncheon at Fort Sill at the Officers Club, and we are having a big homecoming, and there will be a class reunion for the class of 1987 and 1977. Now, if you were a contestant in 1977 or 1987, please get in contact with Dolly Hall, Clara Luper, Lady Ruth Hunter, Nancy Davis, or Gloria Matthews, Bosie Walker. We want to be sure that you get your special invitation. Now, for all of the pages, this will be a very difficult year because we have so many young ladies that want to be pages, and we have so many that want to be escorts. And you're going to have to claim your seats. If you want to be a page in 1997, you will have to sign up in the next 2 weeks because we will not be taking any pages after then. You may call Mrs. Leola Ford at 424-2462. And we need to inform you that the page program is a very good program, but our young people will have to do certain things. They have to meet certain requirements, and they have to go to Lawton and stay for a whole week without you. Well, that's good training, and gosh, that is really exciting. And it's going to cost a little more this year because we're going to have to go down on Saturday and stay for an entire week. My telephone number is 424-3949. I wouldn't miss the opportunity of having my children in the Miss Black Oklahoma pageant or in the page program or the escort program because when they leave there, they usually know not only all of their poems, but they know the songs and what have you, and it's really an experience. Gates Barbershop would like to say, come on down. Mr. Gates is back, and he has a lot to talk about because he's been involved in a program that's out of sight. Hometown, located at 2001 Northeast 23rd Street. Dr. A.L. Dial at 934 Northeast 8th Street, Passion Home and Health Care, 3838 Northwest 36th Street, Capital Car Wash at 24th and Martin Luther King, Exotic Flowers, Johnson Sardinas, all of them would like to say thank you for listening to the Clara Luper Radio Show. Yes, Calvin.
Yes, Mom. You know, we're running out of time here, and I'm just still thrilled on that interview that you had with Russell Perry. You know, I can't get over the young man having over close to 200 employees and 3 stations.
No, not 3, Calvin.
Okay.
Add one more.
Add one more. That's
That'd be
4
stations.
That virtually covers the state of Oklahoma, and that's just inspiring. And
All I
encouraging.
say, he's down in Lawton. Watch out, Texas. Here comes Russell. That is really good news, and I'm really proud. And certainly, if you're doing something, let me know so I can tell people about it. Now, if you don't have no better sense than go around here and steal something from people and go into some kind of business where you can't put your money in the bank, don't expect me to talk about you. I am not going to do it. But I tell you one thing, if you want to help our people, you can't help us by stealing. You can't help us by cursing. Anybody can curse because there aren't 19 words in the English language. I want you to be good, and I want you to know that whatever you do, we are going to stand up for you. Yes, Calvin Luper.
Yes, Mom. If I can help somebody, you know, that song is inspirational to me, and
Russ is really helping him. Anytime you got 200 people on a payroll and those people have to eat and sleep and shoot.
If I can help somebody, now that's taking it to the end. You know, we're looking at the beginning of a great dynasty here, and I'm really proud of the fact that it's from Oklahoma City. We can say that we know Russell Perry, but then I like this song, and I know that thousands of you like it because you remind me every time you see me, and I think we'll just play just a little bit of that, Mom, and then we'll go back and we'll close out with
if I can help somebody,
something inspirational.
But I want all my flowers here now. I want you to come out to the catfish stand and don't come out there and say, "Oh, Miss Luper, I'm proud of you." Well, that won't keep me out there. If you're proud of me, you either buy a sandwich, a dinner, a bowl of gumbo.
Well, you know, this will be my last week in the studio for at least 3 or 4 weeks here, so it'll be a long time before you hear my voice on this mic again. But I'm not coming to the studio. I'm going out. I will be at CP's Catfish that's on the north side of the Travel Transportation Building, west of the B-52 bomber, east of the arena, and directly south of the gigantic slide that's there at the Oklahoma State Fair this year, 1996. We're looking forward to it. But Dean, let's go with it. If I can help somebody just a little bit to kind of get us all going this week.